how you're going to be big enough that you're able to still like your child, not just love, but still like your child and have joy and pleasure in your child, even when they are messing up. In order for your child to have a chance at receiving the moral code that you believe is so precious and that you hold so dear, is that you have to be an example of God's infinite compassion. And just like God is infinitely forgiving and makes room for our imperfections, you as a parent have to be that way toward your child. And by doing that, by being infinitely compassionate and forgiving, you're not being morally weak. You're not opening the door to their moral decay. God forbid, that's not what's happening. To the contrary, the parents who are rigid, who stand on their moral code and refuse to enjoy the presence of a child who they think is drifting as far as values, those are the parents who drive their children away to feeling a belonging to another tribe and then becoming aligned to a whole other set of values, which you better pray is a good set of values because you don't get to pick. So here's the deal. You have a moral obligation not to be triggered into disliking your child just because they did something that is morally repugnant to you. Now, how do you do that? You have to be the example of God's infinite forgiveness and compassion. Here's the deal. If you are indeed such a believer, hence your strong belief in an absolute moral code, think about your child as a soul. Think about your child's essence, their identity that transcends this plane. See, down here in the physical world, things are in flux. We have good days, we have bad days. Sometimes we do better, sometimes we do worse. Those things are changing and conditional. And so if your relationship with your child is based on what they're doing, so your feelings about them are going to be in flux. When they do what you like, then you're going to feel good about them. When they do what you don't like, you're going to feel bad about them. But I tell parents, connect not to just what your child does, but go deeper. Connect to what your child is, their essence, the eternal, transcendent, immutable soul that existed before their embodiment. When you connect to the essence of the child, to the soul, to what the child is, not just what the child does, then you can not only unconditionally love them, but unconditionally like them, meaning unconditionally feel good and get pleasure from their presence in your life, regardless of what they're doing.